Van on here with week 9, day 1, essential math instruction, and we are going to be going over the order of operations today. So just FYI, in case you hadn't noticed, and this is the first video you're watching of the week, this week there's a holiday, there's Memorial Day, and so there's only 4 days that we're providing you. So you can do those 4 days whenever you want. That's why we've intentionally this whole time been saying day 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. It's the day that you want to do them. I do not recommend that you combine these to shorten it. I do think you should spend a whole 4 days working this week. Don't try to compress it and get it really done really fast or something like that, because it's just gonna be harder to remember everything. And our goal here is to keep your mind sharp, right? It's a lot like running, right? If you wanted to train to be a really good runner, you would probably would it be better to train a little bit every day, or would it be better to train a lot 1 day a week? And the answer is, let me take this off, it's bugging me. The answer is it's going to be better to train a little bit every day or every other day, depending on, I'm not a personal trainer, but you're going to do something like that to get in shape and to build your muscles and everything. You have to keep that muscle active. Well, your brain is just like that. So we need to keep our brain working. We can't just compress all of the work into a single day and be done. We need to stay fresh and make sure that we don't forget things. Now, this week is actually the last week of math instruction, which means you're about to enter into a time period in which typically kids lose a lot of information. We call it summer drop from math. So if I were you, probably one of the best things that you could do this summer and for the remainder of the distance learning that we have is to stay fresh on math by doing just a little bit of math every once in a while, like Google logic puzzle and do a logic puzzle, or make sure that if you don't have your math facts down, that you're still practicing those. Do a multiplication problem when you're eating your breakfast. It'll just help. It'll help make sure you don't forget as much. We always forget a little bit in the summer, but we don't want to forget. We don't want to forget a lot, right? That'd be bad if you forgot all the things that you've been working hard on. Anyway, that was my little lecture about that. Got a little distracted. Classic Mr. Van Dong, just like being in class, right? So back to order of operations today. Hopefully this looks familiar. All of us use the same poster. This is the same poster that you're going to see in 6th grade too. Order of operations is the order that we agree in math to add, subtract, multiply, and divide numbers. It matters that we agree, because if we don't have a specific order that we do these things in, then we can get different answers. So for example, if we have something that's like, 10 minus 3 times 2, I'm going to get a different answer depending on if I do 10 minus 3 first. If I do 10 minus 3, that'd be 7 times 2 is 14. Final answer 14. But what if I do the multiplication first instead? 3 times 2 is 6. 10 minus 6 is 4. So is the answer 4, or is it 14? We have to have a set of rules that everybody agrees to follow, so that to make sure that we can write expressions like this and get the same answer each time. So that's what this order of operations comes in. So the order of operations, we have to do anything that's inside of parentheses first. We often say parentheses, say me first, okay? And then after that, we have to do anything that's got exponents in it. Now, this is the symbol for square root, which is sort of like the opposite of exponents. I put that there because you're going to work on it in 6th grade. You'll see it in 6th grade. So you're not going to be, it's just sort of like multiplication and division kind of go hand in hand, and addition and subtraction go hand in hand. Well, square roots and exponents, those go hand in hand as well. So you're going to learn more about that in middle school, but I just don't want it to be a shocker when you see it. So in our case, it's exponents. So parentheses, exponents, and then multiplication and division. Multiplication is not before division. It's multiplication and division from left to right. We go left to right for multiplication and division. And that same thing is true for addition and subtraction. You do addition and subtraction, and you work from left to right with those. It's not that addition always comes before subtraction. It's left to right in those cases. So in this particular problem, are there parentheses? Nope, go to the next step. Are there exponents? Nope, go to the next step. Multiplication and division? Yep. So the way that I would show my work here is I would simplify this, showing my work one step at a time. I do that first. The rest of it is still here for 10 minus 6 now. Okay, and do I have any other multiplication and division? Nope, go down here. Addition and subtraction? Yep. Correct final answer is 4. 4 is how we correctly simplify 10 minus 3 times 2. So it doesn't always work left to right because of this. Now, if I wanted the answer to be 14, I could do that. How would I do that? I would make 10 minus 3 go first by putting parentheses around it. Now I have to do the anything inside of parentheses comes first. So 10 minus 3 is 7, and I still have times 2. Now I've got 7 times 2 is 14. So that's why we have the order of operations and why we use parentheses to make certain things happen first and that sort of thing. Notice that the parentheses, there are 3 different types of parentheses. There's the regular ones, which are called parentheses. The next out from that are called brackets, and out from that are called braces. You do them in that order, but you also you don't actually have to use brackets and braces. You could always just use parentheses, and it's always the innermost parentheses that you do first. So the innermost parentheses that you do first. So in this problem, had I gone, if I put brackets like this, it wouldn't have changed the problem at all. I would still do everything inside these brackets first. What's inside these brackets? All of this stuff. And what's inside of that? Parentheses. So I do the parentheses first. So that's the brackets. But if I had brackets like this and I wrote, plus 6 right here, then this whole time I would have had to I would have done the parentheses first, and then I'd still have this bracket here with a plus 6, right? And then I'd have to do 7 times 2 first, which would happen anyway, even without the bracket, because multiplication is before addition. But anyway, and then I'd have 14 plus 6, and then I'd have a final answer of 20 in that case. So that's why there are multiple types of parentheses. So go ahead and work on the problems that are in your learning packet and follow these steps. Bing, bang, boom. Oh, one more thing. Probably the most common mistake that we see with order of operations is still not quite being confident about exponents. So just another quick review. I think I did this last week too, but I just want to quickly remind you that 3 to the third is not equal to 9. 3 to the third is not 9. 3 to the third is equal to 3 times 3 times 3. Well, 3 times 3 is 9, and we still have another times 3 here, so that's 27. 3 to the third is 27. So make sure if there are exponents that you are paying close attention, that you are not just multiplying the power and the base number together. You need to, I would actually write out the base number times itself that many times to make sure you don't make that mistake. We'll talk to you later.